Hey everybody, welcome to another Dragon Ball Super card game deck profile. I'm DBSTCG Central, and today we're doing a Rainbow Bardock SS4 deck. So this leader is super strong. Let me explain what he does. So on his Unawakened side, he has a permanent where you can reduce the combo cost and negate the energy exhaust skills of all black multicolored battle cards with SS4 in their card name in all areas. Now, this deck is chock full of black multicolor SS4 cards. I'll show you as soon as we get into the deck. And now he's got another permanent. For each color in your battle area and energy area, this card gets plus 2,000 power up to a maximum of 10K um, just in general. So it's really, really strong. The more cards you have in your battle and energy area that are multicolor will buff this guy. I'll show you on the other side the buffs he gets too. When this card attacks, look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to 1 black card with SS4 in its card name from among them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Really good. We run a lot of SS4 cards in here also, so it's definitely relevant. And then his Awaken is when your life is at 3 or less, or you have 4 or more colors in your battle area or energy area, you can awaken. Really, really good. So it's an early awaken if you have those stipulations. So he's got the same permanent as the other side where the combo cost is negated and the energy exhaust is negated. And then he's got an auto now where when this card attacks, resolve the effects below according to the number of non-black colors present among among black multicolor cards in your battle area and energy area. So if you have 2 or more colors in your battle and energy area, this card gets plus 5,000, and then you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So automatically you're attacking, you're 20K, and then you'll put something in rest mode. If you have 3 or more colors, at the end of the turn, you can switch one of your black multicolor energy to active mode. So untapping an energy for defensive reasons, always really good. And then if you have 4 or more colors when this card attacks, you can draw a card, then choose up to one of your opponent's Unison cards and remove a marker. So you're going to get all the colors you need on the board and in your energy. But when this card attacks, it basically draws you a card. It's a 20K. It'll put something in rest mode. And then you can remove a marker from a Unison. So it has a lot of effects and makes him a really, really powerful leader if you can get the deck to work right, which I think I nailed. I took this to a local and I destroyed with it. It was insane. But I also seen a lot of decks built with different cards in it, and I tried to streamline this as much as possible. So I'll start with the defensive package. Petrification, really, really good negate. Negates the attack if your leader is black, and then you could discard a card, and then you could petrify one of your opponent's battle cards, the one attacking, or a different one. Now, it's really strong because to petrify it means it loses its skills, it can't attack, it's basically not even a battle card anymore. And it really hurts your opponent if they have something big going on. So 3 of those, really good negate in black. Some more defense. That's another negate. Power Burst, super strong. It's free if you have 5 or more cards in your drop area. And you could also take if you do have 5 or more in your drop area, you could take a life and you could play it for free. But also it has another effect where you could take a 1-drop black battle card back from your drop area or warp area to your hand. So I'll show you which card we use for that for a little bit of a little spice. So we play this negate. It's a 1-drop Goku Xeno. And all it is a counterattack. So for 1 energy, you just negate it, and this comes into play. And then we use it a little bit later for some fodder. I'll show you exactly what we use it for, but it really helps. And if you need another negate in your hand, it's really good to use that negate and then get this back to your hand. You can negate again. So there's a little combo that's really defensive and really good, but I'll show you also what we do that in a minute. Now the SS4 multicolor black battle cards. I'll show you SS4 Vegeta Prismatic Ages first. He's a really, really good turn 1. So you play, or turn 2, you play this card. You put, even just putting him in your energy, you get these effects. So it's really good. If your leader card is a Bardock Xeno card and you have a total and you have a black multicolor card in your energy other than this card, when this card is in your from your hand is played or is placed in your energy, you could choose one card in your opponent's hand, place it at the bottom of their deck, then your opponent draws one card. So if they have cards they need in their hand, you can randomly take one out of their hand without seeing their hand, put it at the bottom of the deck, and they get to draw another one. So you could just mess up their whole line of play. And then also, when this card is played from your hand, you may draw 2 cards, then choose one card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. So it's really good because if you need to do a little bit of filtering, you can just play it and draw 2 cards, get rid of one, and then set yourself up for your next turn and stuff like that. Next card is basically this deck's topo. So Sun Gohan Prismatic Burst. So it's got energy exhaust, but with your leader, it doesn't matter because it'll come in untapped. And it's combo cost of 1, but also that gets negated by your leader abilities. So this is a counter attack. And what happens here is you negate the attack and play this card. When this card is played, you may choose one card in your hand and discard it. And if you do, your opponent can only attack with battle cards and Unison cards X or more for X more times, where X is equal to the number of colors in your energy. So if you have 2 colors in your energy, in their energy, I'm sorry. So if they only have 1 color in their energy, they can only attack 1 more turn with a Unison or a battle card. If they have 2 colors in their energy, they can attack 2 more times with a battle card or a Unison. So it's really, really strong. Also, it's got a permanent. If you activate this card's counter on the counter skill, if you activate the counter skill of this card in your hand, and there are 3 or more black multicolored battle cards in your energy, reduce the activation cost of this card's counter skill by 1 black. So you only have to pay 1 green energy, which you'll have in your energy at that point, and I'll show you exactly how, because you're putting these cards in your energy and your battle area, and they all gain effects. But this card is really strong. It acts like this deck's topo. Another card we play just for some pesky stuff to get rid of it is Ss4 Sun Gohan Prismatic Aegis. Really good. It's double strike, so it's a pretty good threat. It's a 16k. If your leader card is a black Bardock Xeno card, and you have card, and you have a multicolor card in your energy other than this card, when this card in your hand is played or is put in your energy, choose up to one of your opponent's Unison cards with 3 or more markers from it and remove a marker. But also, when you play this card, its auto is when this card is played from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less and send them to their owner's warp. So it gets rid of a 4-drop. It's really good. So if you need if you have some pesky stuff that you can't deal with, you got some 4-drop that's swinging at you or has some skills on it that you are being enfeebled by, you could just play this card and you get rid of it real quick. Real nice. Next card we play is Ss4 Sun Goku Prismatic Aegis. So this is the yellow-black multicolor card. So this card is a blocker. If your leader is a Bardock Xeno card and you have a black multicolor card in your energy other than this card, when this card in your hand is played or it's placed in your energy, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less and negate its skills until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can negate something skills that's being pesky that might be bothering you. But also, when this card is played from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode, and then KO it if it's a skillless card. So you can play this. And then also, since it's played, when you play this or put it in your energy, it'll negate the skills of something 4 or less. And then when you play it, it'll also KO that card and switch it to rest mode. So it's really, really good. Now you can see we got some blue, we got some green multicolor, and we got some yellow multicolor. So with this Goku here and also this negate, the 1-drop, it'll be on the board usually after you use it. I like to run 2 of these. They came out in the new Realm of the Gods set. It's a little pesky for them, but especially where this guy is not really a threat after he comes out, and you have really nothing to do with him. And if you combo him away, it only puts him in your graveyard because there's zero combo power, so it doesn't really do much. But if you have on your board, you can evolve this card onto him for 1 yellow or 1 black energy. So Sun Ss4 Sun Goku ready to strike. It's got an X evolve, so you could evolve onto a Sun Goku with energy cost of 3 or less, which is this one and this one. And then it's got a limit 1 and a burst 1. When this card is played, when you first play it, you can burst 1 card from the top of your deck and put it in your drop area. And then when that happens, let me see. So when this card is played or when your opponent attacks, so this effect also takes place if your opponent attacks you. If the card placed in your drop area using this skill is a black Saiyan, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, they sends it to their warp. So you'll play, this will be out from negating the turn before, and then you can use 1 energy to play this in X Evolve, and X Evolve will put this into the drop area, which is a black Saiyan. So once you evolve with this, when it's played, it'll put a black Saiyan into the drop, and then your opponent will have to discard a card. So it's really, really powerful for 1 energy just to get them to just discard a card real quick. It's a little bit of hand control in a black deck, which is really good, I think. And I'm working around. I have another deck that I'm brewing with this card, and I think it's going to be really good. All right. So we'll put this guy back over here. Okay, so the next cards we run, a little bit of red multicolor just because it's good to have in the energy, but also this is a really good card. This is like the counterplay for the deck. Play this card. If the battle card being played has 2,000 power or less, it's placed in its owner's drop area instead. So basically, this is a denial of hope that is made for the deck. If you have 2 or more black multicolor energy, you may add a card from your life to your hand when activating this card's counter from your hand. If you do, reduce the activation cost of this counter by 1 black. So you just pay 1 energy, red, which you'll have in your energy. You play it. And then you could take a life, and you'll only have to use 1 energy for this instead of 2. Or you could just play it for 2 and keep the energy. Life. But it's really strong because anything that most of the battle cards they're playing, especially early game, are going to be 20k or less. So for them just to put it in their drop area instead of playing it, it's a really strong counterplay. Like, that's why Denial of Hope's really strong and stuff like that too. Next card is our super combo. Now we're going to keep everything in flavor. So at first I thought this was just for mono black cards in your energy, but it turns out it's just black cards in general. So they are multicolor. They're not mono black, but it doesn't matter with the super combo. It does with the other ones of this type. But the super combo is you take 1 card in your hand, you put it at the bottom of your deck, and then you draw 2 cards. Really strong, really powerful. Plus, it's a Vegeta Xeno, which is going to be important for the stuff that's coming up next, and I'll show you. So, as you know, there's a lot of Vegeta Xeno. There's a lot of, so I got a Vegeta Xeno here, and then I got a Goku Xeno, Goku Xeno, Goku Xeno. So it made sense to run the Thwarting package and Gogeta because you can do the Union Fusion. So I run 3 of these. This used to be a TP card, used to be very expensive, and now it's cheap because it got reprinted, but it is super strong. So it's got Double Strike, unique, so you can only play 1 in your battle area. You could Overwhelm it for 6, or you could Union Fusion with Son Goku Xeno and Vegeta Xeno, which are the ones I just pointed out. And what it does is, I'm sorry, let me just read this. You can choose cards from your warp, and if you do, okay, so when this card attacks, you could choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to their warp. So it comes out, it's a 25k double strike, and every time it attacks, it's going to be warping 1 of their battle cards. Really strong for 1 energy. It's really good. It's a good aggressive option to put in this deck because it's just a lot of defense. So now we're getting into the aggression package, and it needs to be just as strong, I feel. If you're going to defend all that time, it's good to come back at them with some really strong stuff. Since we are playing the package, the Gogeta package, I run 3 of these because you always need a little bit of barrier removal. So with this, you can Union Fusion for 1 if your leader is a Black Saiyan card only. So what it is, and you just use a Goku Xeno and a Vegeta Xeno, and you can Union Fusion, and then you could choose um, battle. You could choose battle cards in your warp to play that ability. So you can Union Fusion with cards in your warp. And then when this card is played, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and send them to their warp. Plus, it's a blocker, so it's a little more defensive. So for 1 energy, you play it, you get rid of something that might have barrier, and then you have a blocker out on the board. So it's really strong. It helps to get rid of the pesky barrier stuff that might be like messing with your deck. Okay, so the thwarting package. So Ss4 Gogeta thwarting the Dark Empire. This is actually you could actually be searched by your leader ability, and you can grab it early game. But so if you guys don't know what this does yet, it's a monster. So it's a triple strike blocker. When this card is in rest mode, it can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills. Once per turn, when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand. That's so bad. 2 cards in their hand and 2 of their battle cards, ignoring barrier, and sends them to their owner's warps. At the end of battle, switch this card to active mode. So once it's switched back to active mode, you can block with it again on your opponent's turn. Now, its ability to come out, it costs 8, but you could spend 4, and you could choose 1 Son Goku Xeno and 1 Vegeta Xeno in your battle area and or drop area, and send them to their owner's warp, and then you can play this card. So turn 4, turn 5, you could play this thing as just by getting rid of some of the stuff you're already going to have on the board and your warp and stuff like that. So it's just basically you're paying for this giant beast monster in this deck, and it's insane. If that doesn't finish him off, or you can't manage to find it, which is you draw a lot in this deck, so you're going to see it. But if you need another option, I do run 2 of these guys just late game, or if they find a way around it. Once this thing comes out, it's pretty much all over. It's quadruple strike, 35k, Ss4 Gogeta Prismatic Burst. When this card is played, resolve the following effects based on the colors in your energy area. So if you have a red, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent when this is played. It's so good. When it's blue, you could draw 3 cards. So if you have a red, a blue, you could do 1 direct damage and then draw 3 cards. If there's a green one in there, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and discards them. If there's a yellow card, then you can choose up to 1 of your opponent's cards and switch it to rest mode. And then if there's a black card, the color black in there, which there will be because all the other colors are multicolor with black, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and send them to their owner's warps. Just monstrous. When you play him, it's just devastating for people. So, and then he's got an active main, so you could choose 1 Son Goku Xeno and 1 Vegeta Xeno cards in your hand or in your battle area, and you can place them in the drop area, and then you could play this card for 5 instead of 10. But it is a juggernaut. So when it gets played, it is just like, destroys your opponent's hand, their field, takes 1 life away from them, and then they have to deal with a 35 quadruple strike. So it's one of the bigger boss monsters, and it's super strong. We do run a few Unisons. Oh, actually, I got 1 more boss monster that I like to run. So I run 2 of these. This came out one of the draft box a while ago, but I think it's draft box 2. If you, for some reason, don't have the Gokus where you need them, you're always going to. But like, if there's just something that happens, if like somebody's doing something weird or petrifying your stuff or enfeebles you somehow, I run this card too. It's double strike, dual attack, and you have to pay 1 of each color. So a red, a blue, a green, and a white. When you play this card from your hand, you can choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and send it to its owner's warp. And when this card attacks, you draw a card. It's really good in case there's a giant like barrier monster that you need to get rid of. And it's a 30k double strike dual attack that draws you 2 cards, because every time it attacks, it draws you a card. So it's really strong and powerful, especially in this deck where it's playable. Playing the 4 colors is not a problem. So other decks, this thing didn't really have a way to get played easily. So with this deck, it's such a good card. It works really, really well. It's a little tech I run. Okay, also I run 3. I was running 4, but I don't need it all the time, and it's better when I get to turn 3 and I want to be defensive. But this SS4 Bardock Spirit Resident. So once per turn, it's got an auto. When you remove a marker from this card with a Spirit Boost ability, you can choose up to one battle card from your opponent's drop area and you send it to their warp. That doesn't really come up. We don't really run any Spirit Boost, but we play it for the draw one. So you +1, you can draw an extra card. And then it's a 15k attacker. And then it's got a -2 where until the end of your opponent's next turn, they can't attack with battle cards unless they choose one card in their hand and send it to their owner's warp. So again, a really, really another strong, just like finisher. It's just really, I mean, Unison, just to help out the deck a little bit, some more draw power, some more defense. It's strong and it just fits in the deck pretty well. Yeah, and then for the most part, that is the deck. Secret rares that are good to run with it are probably, for right now, I'm really just running this this one in it, just because sometimes I already have the stuff out, and I'll play the Gogeta the turn before, and then on the turn after that, on turn 5, I'll play the Smoke Dragon. And then when I play the Smoke Dragon, I'll get rid of all the cards in their hand, and then I'll swing with the Gogeta. And if there is any more cards in their hand, they have to get rid of them. And it really just pincer attacks. They have no choice but to just take the damage, and they lose all the cards in their hand. And it's just a tech I run. I'm sure you could run the Kai, or Pan's really good too. And then there's obviously the SS4 Saiyan Ultimate secret rare also you could run with this deck. But for how I play the deck, just playing this and getting rid of the rest of the cards in their hand and then attacking with something else I have on the board just for game, it's just way better for me. But that's the deck, everybody, and I appreciate you guys joining me again. This one's a little crazy. It's multicolored. It's super strong. There's so many builds online that you can find. I just built one that was super competitive for my meta, like where I play. But yeah, it's a really fun deck. This leader, I honestly, is so cool. Like all the stuff you can do, it's a really fun deck, and it's super strong, especially if you get it to run right in the way you want it to. But other than that, I'm DBS TCG Central. Thanks for coming to another one. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And like I said, if you guys ever want a specific deck, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll see what I can do. But appreciate you guys joining me, and have a good one. Happy Easter, everybody.